Everybody, so welcome back to Breath of Fresh Air. Today is Sunday. Hi, baby. And it was the gratitude meeting just now. Like, I always come back and then I do a video from the gratitude meeting, and I'm trying. I know, right? Um, I'm trying not to like get stuck in a bunch of videos today because I did that yesterday, and then I never post them. So what I'm gonna do today is just kind of catch you up since like the last video. Okay, obviously I didn't go into training. What happened was I ended up like relapsing on my other substances. And then I kind of realized what had happened. I have been like trying to figure everything out, and I've been in my head for the past, I don't know, God, honestly, it feels like it's been like this since April that I've been trying to like figure everything out and do all this stuff and whatever. And you know what, guys? Made me realize this is because it's just been like my drinking. I'll get a couple days of everything being good, and then that will be like, okay, let's burn shit down, and it made me feel like I couldn't get help for it because it was so, fuck, come on. I was addicted to crystal. I'm an addict, but like I was actively addicted to crystal meth for fucking 15 years, and I was like a raging alcoholic for 22. And so the fact that I had like food problems and stuff was like, it was like, how can you not fucking get this? And then my head was like doing all this stuff. And so this week, in the past week, I ended up, going to another fellowship and like, whatever, seeking help, and it didn't end up happening. Or like, the church was closed, I'm assuming because of COVID or whatever. But like, I ended up sitting in that parking lot and being like, old Sarah would have been like, that's fucking it. You know what I mean? Like, look at this and blah, 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 right? Because I'm pretty sure that probably happened somewhere. But, yeah. And instead, what did I do? I was like, okay, like, because I was feeling pretty defeated, man. Like, it's weird. Like, come on, man. Like, a pile of meth, fucking, like, I've literally been around meth and people who are on meth in the last, like, couple months, and, like, I haven't picked up, right? And it's like, but food? I mean, I've been feeling the exact same way I felt like about myself, like worthless piece of shit, all this stuff. Feeling the exact same way like I felt before I was going to take my life in Calgary, like in 2017. I was feeling that way, like, but about food, and I was like, that's how I knew like my addiction was back, right? It's my addiction to my alcoholism takes on many forms when I'm not well. And I was like, motherfucker, that's how I knew I needed help, and like there were so many things like the unmanageability and the pain and the powerlessness and all that, right? And so then I was just like, fuck, so when I was sitting there feeling discouraged, I was like, okay, universe, like, lead me to a meth pipe or lead me to a solution, and then I got in the parking lot of my place because I was going to come home and pick up, and my best friend called me. And he needed help. Like, he needed somebody to talk to. And, he was having a hard day. One of my best friends is clean. She just moved away. But my other best friend is clean 7 years. And he used to be my meth dealer, actually. And, he actually got busted coming to sell me a half ball. And I laugh because it's like, you think about it, like everything happens for a reason, right? He ended up getting clean off of the meetings that the person who helped me get clean, like one of the people, like chairs. And so like all this stuff, right? And so I was like, hey, this is a fucking perfect latte, okay? I went through the drive-thru today and I was like, hey, yesterday you guys made it wrong. But on Tuesday night, me and my friend started, like me and him, driving around to find this. So we went to every single not every single, okay, but we drove to like 3 different Starbucks. And then finally I was like, my name is Sarah. I have like 20% of white girl in me. I wear Uggs on occasion. Fucking channel that in her fucking Starbucks, Sarah. Like, we can find this. And then we get there. So I love blonde vanilla lattes, okay? So we get there and they're like, I'm like, can I get a blonde vanilla latte with whipped cream and caramel drizzle? And the guy's like, unfortunately, the blonde espresso machine's being cleaned. I was like, motherfucker. So that little white girl got her pumpkin spice latte. And by the way, guys, I'm native German and Welsh with 2 different types of native in me. And then like every time a family member dies or like something else, like new shit comes out. Like, come on, man. But so what ended up happening today, they gave it to me for free because I've been chasing this fucking thing down. But then then the next day after I realized like we got home at like 11. I got home at 11 and like didn't pick up, whatever. The next day I had to drive my friend to go like do his heart specialist stuff. The same friend that helped him get sober, that helped him get clean and helped me, whatever. I had to drive him. I didn't have to. I got to. It was a privilege. Drive him to specialists and then whatever. And it was like, you know what I realized? The reason all this stuff and I couldn't figure it out and do all this is because it's not meant to get figured out. When you try to figure something out, you're in your head. Tony Robbins taught like at the seminar, get in your head, you're fucking dead, right? When you're trying to go in your head and figure shit out, you're leading with your head. My disease, I can argue that, whatever, but like disease of alcoholism and addiction and everything centers in my mind. You can't heal a sick mind with a sick mind. And so then I was like, motherfucker. Like I say that quite a lot this last week because it's usually when I have realizations. Get out of your head and get into your heart. See, when I'm in my head, I can't help anybody. But when I'm in my heart, that guides me to people that need to be helped. And so then, I still wanted to use. I just didn't talk about it with my friend, but I went to like my other girlfriends and we talked about it, because like my friend that I was driving for the appointments and stuff, we more have intellectual conversations. We don't talk about people, we talk about ideas, and we talk about all the, I love talking with this person because like, oh my God, like, I feel so smart. SMRT. No, but I do feel really smart when I talk with this person because like he treats me like an equal. He doesn't treat me like he's condescending or he's trying to one-up me. Like it's just like we're buds. And the funny thing is this is a part of the big book that like actually like we are 2 people that would normally not mix, He's an older gentleman and I'm like me, right? Former meth head escort. You know what I mean? And he's like well educated and very respected in the community that he used to be in, right? Like, and then it's like, but we have a great time together. I love that. Anyways, and then I got to drive my nephews and everything. And I realized like, my mom's been asking me to drive my nephews for a while. And I was like, hey, what about me? Blah, blah, blah. Dude, the second I started driving my nephews is when my life started getting better. Like, and like my relationship with my mom's been changing. Like I finally wrote in my gratitude journal this week for the first, I've been keeping a gratitude journal for years now, recovery thing, right? They would recommend it. And like it's suggested. It's not like it's not in the program of recovery, but if you want to feel better, they suggest it, right? And so wrote for the first time, like I'm grateful for time spent with my mom, and it made me fucking cry because it's like I was about to pick up on Tuesday and then it's like, hold on, do the uncomfortable stuff, whatever, right? Feel the feelings. And then this is the reward. It's not a reward, it's a result, Like, I mean, I used to be very reward based. I'm an addict, right? So it's a reward system in my brain. But like, and I sat there and I thought about that and I was like, okay, that's fucking nice, right? And like me and my mom have just been having a different understanding. My sick mind always thinks my mom's the way she used to be. I forget that my mom's also 11 years sober and clean. I call her a dry cleaner because she doesn't have a program, right? And like it's painful when you're clean and sober without a program of recovery or a spiritual thing to like get us that relief. But like, I'm like, maybe my mom does something that I don't know about, right? Like, I don't get to decide that. Maybe my mom has changed from watching me change. Like, we don't always know what impact we as people in recovery have on others. That's like the ripple effect, right? And so then I was like, okay, fuck, like I'll pick up on Wednesday night. They always say like, just if you're going to pick up tomorrow. But remember, the program's just for today. And so I was like, okay, then I'll pick up on Tuesday or Thursday. Well, wouldn't you fucking know that I fucking have service work on Thursday? So like, I can't fucking do that. And then somewhere I was driving to my service work on Thursday, right? Like I opened a church for a meeting on Tuesdays and Thursdays, which I volunteered for. And I remember somebody saying something to me like, don't forget that you called us, like about AA, right? And I was like, fuck, it's always my own doing. And I was like driving and I was like, hey, universe, I always like my guiding thing is the universe because it's literally everything in fucking existence. So I can't fucking deny it, right? And I was like, okay, universe, like I know at some point I didn't want to use, at some point in my life, like I said, like when the faces in the walls were talking to me and like fucking, I heard my best friends outside of my apartment door, even though one of them lived out of fucking town and like the other one is in Toronto or something. I heard them saying everything bad that I ever thought about myself in their voices outside of my fucking apartment door. Like I remember that's what meth and alcohol did to me. And I want to run back to that because I can't fucking get my food situation figured out, and because I fucking can't get my house clean. No, I'm like, universe, let's get through this, And so off to the fucking church I went. And then it was the whole get in your head, you're dead. And I was like, you need to be in your heart, right? And so then all this other stuff started happening. I don't know what happened. I think it was just that I started reading all my stuff from like my posts when I was in Toronto over the last 3 years, because it would have been this week. And it was like, that woman is in there, like she just has work to do. And I also like this week, like in the last week, found out like, somebody's company that took a chance on me had passed. And I realized that I'd been the one who turned my back on people. And so I messaged them and I said, hey, I was wrong. I know I still got work to do, but I'm the one who turned my back on you guys when I got sick. It wasn't the other way around. I've been playing a victim. And there's something happens to the brain when you step out of victim mode. When you recognize that you've been being a victim and you switch that and you say, no, I'm a fucking survivor. I survived all of that. I can't hang out with people who still live in their pasts. I can't live with people who try to connect. I can't live with people, period. My nephew asked me today, he's like, Auntie, why are you still single? I was like, honey, have you met me? And he's like, yeah, you got a point there. So glad we're on the same page, honey. But I said, I was like, I can't deal with, I don't like hanging out with people who they think that's the way to bond. Because I used to be that way, and that's what pushed people away from me, And also, it's like, when I realized this, okay, they say that whole thing, great minds discuss events, great minds discuss ideas, average minds discuss events, and then small minds discuss people. Well, I didn't realize this until recently, that people includes me. So when I talk about my past and stuff, I'm still being a small mind. So when I want to discuss events and ideas and blah, 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 like that's what I prefer to. How am I supposed to expand my mind about things that I want to learn in education and all this kind of stuff if I'm still talking about myself and other fucking people? I don't want to do that. The thing about integrity is that having integrity, if somebody's here that I don't want to, like, if somebody's not here to defend themselves, then we shouldn't be talking about them, period. You know what I mean? Like, and unless you can't talk about that person, unless you don't have the balls to talk about that person, their face, you shouldn't be fucking talking about them. That's how I see it. And for the longest time, I have been not honoring that. And that was the way that I fucking gained my integrity, because I used to be the most manipulative, backstabbing fucking person for like the longest fucking time. And when I fall back into that, I get sick, right? And sick, I don't mean like physically sick. I mean mentally and emotionally and spiritually sick. And for me, eventually, once those three are sick, the physical comes. And like, as you can tell, like that's when I start abusing myself with food. Okay, I got totally sidetracked there. But that obviously had to come out. See, I'm like starting to realize, like when I speak from my heart, I don't really get to decide how things go. And that's why people are always like, Sarah's so honest. It's not that I'm honest. I just speak from my heart, and the shit that is meant to come out comes out. But yesterday, okay, so I am feeling better, okay? I realized that when I stopped obsessing about myself, I righted some of my wrongs. Fucking recovery. But when I stopped obsessing about myself, I started admitting my wrongs. And, I was like, hey, like, get out of my head, get into my heart, and start doing these things. And you know what I did? Instead of like trying to manipulate my day and being like, this always makes me have a good day, I just started being like, universe, I trust you. Whatever you guide me to and through, I know it's because of you wanting me to be a better person. I go through my day not trying to hurt people because I want to be a good person. You know what I mean? I remember what it was like when I was the opposite. And so because I'm starting to feel good, all of a sudden I'll just start cleaning up my house. And I'm like, what the fuck? I mean, my house isn't the greatest, you know what I mean? A messy mind equals a messy environment, right? It just happens. So anyways, as I was cleaning yesterday, I found something that I wrote. And had I found this any other time, I probably would have just crumpled it up and threw it away. But I was like, you know what? I saw my signature and I was going to take a picture of it and post it so people could read it. But then I was like, I still have some I always call it residual crystal meth energy or whatever, paranoia. And I was like, somebody could forge my signature. Yeah, for what? But anyways. So I'm going to read it to you guys. Because when I read this, it made me realize that at some point in my life, when I wrote this, I didn't date it, which makes me upset. But it was probably, anyways, when I wrote this, it was probably in my big 2-year stint of sobriety and, or without drinking and alcohol. I'll tell you, I don't say sobriety because it put that for me and me only. This is just mine. Sobriety puts a lot of pressure on me to live that lifestyle. And when I do that, and when I say sobriety, I put so much pressure on me, and then I think I have to do everything perfect. So I just say without drinking and without meth and you know what I mean? And I know that I live this way. I do try to put the principles in all my affairs and anything. But anyway, so to this letter. It's Sarah Curtin, you are amazing. There is no one quite like you. You are kind, determined, loving, caring, and friendly because you were once the opposite. Remember that. Be you. Laugh, give, smile. Push yourself 10% more every day. Take away 10% of the bad behavior. Sugars, coffee, takeout, carbs, etc. I mean, this probably was more about when I was trying to lose weight and shit, but whatever. Daily and every other day, and feel the difference. Celebrate the victories. Celebrate yourself. Mourn the death of the former you. How applicable, eh? She taught you so much. Thank her. She went through so much pain for you to be living the life you are today. Realize every day that Sarah sacrificed her life to get you to where you are today. You hurt people, yourself, and now all you can do is keep being this Sarah. That is the best way to truly show an apology. The best apology is change behavior. And then I read this yesterday and I was like, motherfucker, you know what I mean? Because in the last week, it's been my own writing that has caught my attention. I was like, I need to find inspiration. What's going to get me out of this rut? And it was fucking me. It was my own shit. I was like, motherfucker. And then it made me be like, maybe I am supposed to be an inspirational speaker. Maybe this is really somebody told me you go to recovery, you go to AA and all that kind of stuff. I'm in AA. I'm not going to lie. Most of you guys know me from there anyways. But I'm in that. And somebody told me the only thing that AA guarantees you, if you do these steps, apply it to your life. And I always say that because it's a 1 day at a time program. If you have to work these things, I'm always saying this because people say, well, anyways. But the only thing it guarantees you is that you're not going to drink. What you do with that life is entirely up to you. And I was like, well, that sounds like a fucking challenge. And all I wanted when I came in there was just to stop drinking, and my life's different, I would have never been able to get through a thought of meth without picking up before, I would have never been able to get through 3 weeks without a drink before, and now here I am, unemployed. But keep in mind, my old line of work, I was not unemployed when I came in here. I was a escort, right? And I don't do that. It'll be coming up on a year for the first time in my life since I started doing that. And there's nothing wrong with that job. I love that job, to be honest, but I just can't do it anymore because my anxiety is so bad. I had such obsessive clients with me because I'm really friendly. I pay attention to people. I'm lonely. So I got that. But yeah, and it's my first time coming up to that long. I'm a marathon runner now. Well, not actively right now. The pizza kind of took that away. No, excuses. See, I'm excusing it. No, I stopped doing the work to be a marathon runner when that's it. I stopped doing the fucking work. And when you stop doing the work, You can't do these things. It's the same thing with recovery, right? If you stop doing the work, you're going to fucking drink again. I've done that. It's not that the program doesn't work. It's that you stop working it. Fucking disclaimers everywhere, but people don't realize it. That's why when people got upset when Demi Lovato relapsed last year. Oh, that program doesn't work. No, she stopped doing the shit that was fucking required, and then she got loaded. Like, it's not that fucking simple. I mean, it's not that fucking hard. It's not rocket science, people. But anyways, and and then I'm like getting ready to go to college. I'm gonna be a fucking accountant, maybe. I'm like, I have a really good feeling, I should say, that like I'm gonna go into college with the intention of getting my accounting diploma, and it's gonna end up something else, just because that's me, right? But yeah, so we're at 20 minutes now. This is a lot longer than I thought it was gonna be, but I really hope this has a lot of good juicy tidbits for you guys, because I realized this week that like, yeah, I was obsessing about myself, and that's why I was getting sick and why my addiction came out. And I needed to be reminded why I got sober and why I do all this. I love me sometimes. I got sober and I got clean, yeah, originally because my life was shit, like loaded. But like, ultimately somewhere along the lines, I changed my life because I wanted to help people. The reason I want to be a speaker and everything is to help people on that level, of a grand level of things, I want to use my experience so people can be like, holy fuck, no, that is possible, so people know that they're capable of anything, provided they do the work, suit up, show up, do your best. We can be anything. Like literally anything. I mean, maybe not a fucking purple unicorn or something, but why would a unicorn be purple? Maybe a pretty purple, but as long as we, and you can't do it alone either. That was the thing. I thought I did. And then I really looked at it. I was like, I fucking did this. That first year that I thought I did it alone, but no, I didn't. I had Doc. I had all my friends behind me. Just because I wasn't surrounded by the fellowship, didn't mean I didn't have people with me. I still had people with me. No man is an island. You know what I mean? Nobody does it on their own. We do this together, Anyways, guys, yeah, this is a lot longer, and I really appreciate you guys following along with me. And you know what? I've decided also, instead of trying to make this what it is, I'm just going to go with the flow, follow my heart, and it's going to be what it's supposed to be, right? Things don't always turn out the way we want them to, but they always work out the way they're supposed to be, right? So, you guys, I am just filled with fucking love today, and I am so grateful for it. So instead of trying to hold on to it, I'm just going to spread it out there, and I'm going to enjoy it and appreciate it for all that it is, and my free fucking latte. Thanks a latte. I love you. Bye.